And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. It is bright, it's beautiful. It is Friday morning. We made it through another week and wanted to give you a quick little trade setup idea that is coming to fruition before our very eyes. And it is right here on Mr. Bitcoin. It's on a lot of the altcoins, but we've had this hourly range for the last, looks like about 8-9 hours, about to break it to the downside. So really easy way to see some of the inefficiencies of the market, telling us this was going to break to the upside, is this huge red candle to the upside. So we come and basically fill out all that inefficiency price action that simply, stops and things that were not hit in that area. And then we get another inefficiency gap right here, and we come back down and perhaps tap this wick one more time, test it as support. So how would you do a short-term trade setup like this? Is this the short tool or the long tool? Okay, short position. You want to use the prior wicks, range wick highs somewhere right here. Right, so even if you had to enter on this bad closure right there, you could target a move down. And specifically, what am I looking at? Well, one, you still have the silver cross present to the downside, the green cross the 55, right? You're going to have extremely low BBWP. You're going to have the PMARP crossing out of the critical zone, essentially this signature right here. And Stokes coming out of the critical zone, heading towards the bearish control zone. The average move on a trade setup like this on the hourly time frame is going to be about 3.4%. So just I don't think I would target that deep back to the bottom side of the range. Are we going to put in some hidden bearish divergence? Yes, we are going to be, call it the 4-drive variety, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, at least on a candle body closing basis. And yes, I'd be looking to play this backfill a little bit, all the way up, perhaps to right here. Dollar is breaking back down on the hourly. So the dollar's doing the opposite thing. I think the dollar has a bounce in her, depending upon this consumer sentiment report, which just came out. Michigan consumer sentiment, the only high impact event for the day. Come on, refresh the screen, sir. Michigan consumer sentiment. Maybe it's coming out right now as, yes, it is, 7 a.m. So, okay, expectations came out higher than expected, bullish for the dollar. We'll see if the dollar gets an immediate bounce here off of this. That would be my suggestion. There is weight, heavy weight put on this one, and several drives of hidden bullish divergence. So all we got to do is confirm this as a local low and close an hourly back above here. Should get a big bounce on the dollar. So are we going to bounce it in the next? This thing's been pretty beat up. You look at the U.S. dollar over the last couple of days, just absolutely shellacked to the downside. And this brings me up to my next point, is that the dollar's been going down. Typically, Bitcoin goes up. What did Bitcoin do over the last couple of days? It went down, 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 down. So in line with the dollar, at some point, I think the mean reversion happens, and you start to see Bitcoin do whatever the NASDAQ does. I imagine that correlation will jump back relatively soon. Just curious to see what the correlation looks like right now. If you check out Bitcoin, and this is a bit of a point for the bulls in a sense. Let's see. Which one do I want to use? There we go. Line chart. So look what you've seen since, call it January this year. And that's what everybody's saying. Gosh, volume out of here. Lines out of here. So everybody's saying, oh, the stock market has been parting to the upside. Bitcoin's been going down. Okay, let's look at, so Bitcoin is the orange line, NASDAQ is the price bar. So Bitcoin rallies up, you know, it says 89%. I think it was more like 100%. 100% off the lows. It's still up 61% for the year, 61% for the year. So who's winning the race this year from January? The January low. Oh, here we go, January. NASDAQ up 40% for the year. So the only difference in time frame has been over the last, since March. So since March, Bitcoin's down and NASDAQ is up. So I do imagine a bit of a mean reversion in a sense. Just over the last few months, we've had this play out where, you know, Bitcoin's gone down, NASDAQ has gone up, or vice versa, you know, biggest bull trap in history. And we've been talking about this. I'm going to get this out of here. So let's see. There we go. Back onto my regular charts, we said NASDAQ likely to bounce up to this high. And then if it's going to reject, that's where it would likely reject from. Otherwise, new all-time highs for Mr. NASDAQ, as we would be getting above the 786 right here. We just barely tapped it. Look at that perfect symmetry, and likely at least coming back to test the 618. But who's to call, you know, got to trade the market that is before you. Okay, so I'm going to get into Bitcoin price action. My first video did not go off. And here's the line in the sand. Looking for a greater bounce is a daily closure back above. I'm going to say this high right here at 26,126, and that very likely gets you that move up to the green 55 on the daily time frame. You can see after this massive consolidation, we did tap the 1618 fib. Close enough is close enough. Could get a bit of a stretch lower. As you can always use a wick basis, which would be that wick to this wick. And that gives you a little bit of a deeper target on the 1618 fib, coming in at, call it 23,800. And I do believe there's probably going to be a bit of a, stops under this last pivot right here. People that are going to long the market right here and then put their stop right there. So we'll see what kind of a bounce reaction we get. I do expect bounces to be volatile at some point, but back above here, that's where the real daily time frame is going to begin to switch around for me at 28,218. What else am I going to check in on? The 3-day. So 3-day is going to cross up above 26,200. The 2-day is going to cross down below 25,714. So from a volatility perspective, the 2-day has a bit, so it's going to break down here or it's going to pick back up. This is kind of the do or die time. I'd say by, Monday, Tuesday next week, we're going to see a pretty volatile move. Just a guesstimate here on my end. Anyways, back into the reason I was looking at this was the volatility is extremely low on the 3-day time frame. So when this does get expansion, that's when you'd expect 30 to 40% move. Again, 30 to 40%. And it should go in the direction of the momentum, and we will stay cross down as long as we're below 26,200. So all eyes on the dollar, right? If the dollar does bounce from this region, going to put some pressure on risk assets. And if the dollar continues to break down, right? So again, dollar on the 3-day time frame is going to have the hidden bearish divergence. Yeah, coming back from this pivot to drive varieties, enough to get you to really to this level right here, kind of mid-range, or I'd say the 786, which is where we're at. Could get a little bit more as the 5-day will probably confirm here today on this one, and give a little more impetus for the downside. Really want to see this. Okay. So again, if the dollar continues to break down, it is bullish for risk assets. If dollar picks itself up by its bootstraps and heads on higher, well, that would be, you know, your first warning sign that the bounce is not here to stay. All right, I think that's it for Bitcoin. Let's check out Ethereum really quick. We talked about this inverted head and shoulders, right? We had this measure move to the upside, but when you break the left shoulder, right, you're, you know, essentially that last neckline, even on the 5-day time frame, gives you a big measure move all the way back down to about $1,400. I'd say that is a bit of a stretch there, but that is in play now for Mr. Ethereum. Ethereum Bitcoin, obviously going to play out to the downside if Ethereum goes down. Let's see, 5-day closure did just put in a nice sell. So when Ethereum Bitcoin goes down, typically your altcoins are not going to perform as well. Did want to check out a bit of an opportunity on Stacks, which is one of the ones that wasn't named in the lawsuit. Really quick, I had a short-term trade set up. If Bitcoin is going to play out some more downside, you're going to have many drives of hidden bearish divergence right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, 5 higher highs in RSI, but 5 lower highs in price. So how would you confirm it with an hourly closure back up below here? To me, it's all about confirmed. However, you know, yeah, we're leaving the bullish control zone. You get this signature on the PMARP. I would be looking to play the bounce actually off the other side here. So short-term down, if you were going to short this one, you know, looking for entries somewhere around here with a tight stop loss right above these prior range wick highs, and looking to short the move down to the green 55. Quick little scalp trade. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to post this one on Discord here, and let's see if it works. Boom. No, I don't. Is that what I want? Nope. Control Enter. There we go. Throwing her up on our Discord as a, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but been getting some good feedback on these, and we've had some really nice calls over the past few weeks. By the way, if you guys want to learn how to trade, we got a, you can get lifetime access to a course on learning how to build your crypto wealth. There's a link in the description below. Remember, there are going to be some, you know, price increases as we add more information to the course. Feel free to check it out, and do me a favor, if you guys enjoyed some of the content, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Always appreciate that. And checking in on open interest, 8.2 billion. So slight creep up. You're still paying to go long. Fear and greed index still at a neutral. All right, I think that's going to be it for today. Short-term bouncy on Mr. Mana. One of the ones that it is not faring too well. If this one's going to do what the rest of the altcoins are doing, it's going to test that trend line, which would be pretty fantastic. Bitcoin would really have to get a push here. Let's see, Fedi WAP coin, which absolutely got destroyed, and it is testing its hourly trend line. You can see actually about to break back through it, so that'd be a bullish sign. Anyways, that's it out of me today. Okay, last thing, gold. Did we call that the upside target yesterday? I'm not 100%, but I know overall we were looking for a bounce. Oh, if we break this area on the daily. So can we come back here and make a few more drives of hidden bullish divergence? Yes, as long as this area holds. You know, I'm expecting a bounce up into this region, you know, maybe slightly lower, but you know, a lower high in that fashion. If the dollar is going to go up, dollar go up, gold goes down. Yeah. Dollar go down, gold go up. And that's a pretty easy one. So again, you know, does this one have a little bit more to go to the downside? Yes, and I do think so. If we do come down to the downside a little bit more, then perhaps Bitcoin plays out a greater bounce, greater bounces on Bitcoin on the shorter term time frame. I'd say is the 4 hour at 25,900. 25,900 short-term target. It's not until we get back above this last really wick high at 26.5. I think that was the spike high a few days ago before the breakdown that we were looking at. Yeah, 26,500 back above there on a 4 hour, and probably going to touch the top side of this trend line. As I imagine there's a lot of those stop losses hanging out right here and right here. Yeah, that's it for Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think we covered them all today, guys. Hope you have a blessed and highly favored day and a weekend. Also, just one last thing regarding this, the Gaussian channel. Gaussian channel coming up here as one of our weekly indicators to kind of judge macro bias. Remember, the weekly is a higher term time frame, which means very strong and powerful moves on the weekly time frame. But as long as we're holding the mean band, you can essentially remain bullish. If you close a weekly, which will come on Sunday below 24,750, that would be bearish. And, you know, bust the impetus for a downside move around 21,000. Additionally, CMEs is going to close today. So above the mean band, another point for the bulls. And can we get a rally? Well, here's the caveat to that is that on the daily time frame, we have now broken below and flashed red. You can see what happened the last time that happened. Over here, similar signature. Right, we go from green to red and break below that bottom side Bollinger Band. And low volatility, right? Low volatility right now. Volatility is expanding. The 2-day, to be fair, still very low. Chance to bounce it off the green 55. 3-day, same thing. So 2-day and 3-day are putting in a buy signal for a bounce. 2-day and 3-day holding it on. But the daily is giving us a bit of a bias buster to the downside. So looking at CMEs really quick. That's the trend line to break on CMEs. So this one's going to close today, and the day isn't over, right? We could get a massive wick down. I've seen worse things happen, but with the news coming out, you know, bonds going down, stocks going up, I think the bulls can, you know, climb the wall of worry. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will tune back in with you on Monday with some more Bitcoin updates. Take care.